universe is everything, and if it's expanding, so it will break apart. Now, everything.
Hello, everybody. Stand by while we try to get Zero in here. He's having Skype issues. Hi, Chloe Chan. Oh, there he is. Hi, Zero. Hello, can you hear me?
I can now.
Okay, hold on. I gotta get you on screen. Hi, Marknut. Hi, Creeper. Let me get Zero on here.
Hey.
Window capture. Can you? Actually, never mind. It's fine.
Oh.
Hey, look, there you are. Hey guys, it's Zero. Where do you want to be? You want to be here? Okay. Yeah, you're right on top of me.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. Marknut says, alright, peace out, Creeper. Thanks for stopping by. Mark says, do you read manga or is it all anime for both of you? I only watch anime, but Zero reads manga. Zero, what manga are you reading right now?
What manga am I reading right now? Let me tell you. Well, I'm reading all the Shonen Jump stuff because, of course, I am. Reading a couple manhwa, which are Korean manga, including The Gamer and Tales of Gods and Demons. And I'm also reading this mixed martial arts manga called Karate Shikoshi Kohinata Minoru.
Do you want to start up a chess game while we, I don't know, just to do something? What's the site? Is it L-I? Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, what do I do here?
That's a good question. I usually use chess.com, so...
do you want to go there? Do I need to have an account or can I just play? You can make me sign up.
I'm not gonna make you sign up, but you can sign up.
What? I don't think I okay, hold on. I hope there's nothing on my desktop.
Yeah, here's open.
Alright, I'm in. I'm in the mainframe, boys. Can you like invite me to a game or how does this work?
It's a good question. You probably should have like prepared this in some degree.
I'm sure it's not that difficult. We could probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Do you pay for this?
No.
Alright, I don't. Is there an. Maybe there's no play with friends option on this?
That is likely.
Okay, then we're gonna have to go to the other site. I think there is. Play with a
Okay.
friend. Standard. Unlimited, sure. Alright, I'm gonna link you the game. On Skype. Or actually, should I send it to you on Facebook?
Yes.
Alright, there you go. It's done.
Nice.
This is you, right?
Yeah.
See, the thing is, for those watching, I don't play chess, and he does. So I'm clearly looking at this move right here and just assuming that this is a trap of some sort. But there's nothing to verify that, so you know what, let's just do it.
Ah, this is the plan all along.
But you could have just done that anyways. Couldn't you have? My pawn wasn't in the way.
My pawn was.
Oh. Wait, no. Was oh, okay. Well, you couldn't you have just moved it one space though and had that same effect without losing a pawn?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm gonna. Yeah.
Interesting. Mark Nutt says, "How are you liking My Hero Academia show and manga?" To be honest, I kind of stopped watching after the later half of season 2. Not for any particular reason. It just I don't want to say I got bored. I just stopped being excited about it. Like if I picked it up again, I'd probably still relatively enjoy it, but I didn't love it enough to prioritize it in my life. I'll probably get around to it at some other point. I feel like I don't want to just sack something, but whatever. Fuck it.
We should probably be playing like blitz games.
Why?
That. I feel like at this rate we're gonna end up in a position where we're just staring. We get too involved in the chess game and don't answer any of these cool commenters in our stream.
What's a blitz game?
It's 3 or 5 minutes.
But doesn't that mean that we'd get even more like in here I could just look at the chat without like there being an issue, but with the blitz game I have to focus on the game.
That's true.
Avatar Cora says favorite anime. Well, it's an honor to have you here, Cora. I'm a big fan, if you couldn't tell. I don't know if I feel a bit iffy about answering this question because my favorite anime is probably Haikyuu, but I don't feel super strong about that. I just haven't had something challenge that yet. And then Chloe Chan says, "It's my first stream here, and have you heard of Stranger Things?" Of course, we've heard of it. Have you seen it? You've seen it all, right?
No, I only watched first season.
I only watched the first 2 episodes, but I really liked it. I just have a really bad not that Stranger Things is like a horror or anything. I mean, it's a little scary, but it was a little too scary for me because the first episode has that scene where it's like they're in the laboratory, and there was like this huge jump scare with the monster, and it was like midnight, and I was in my room alone. I was too scared to keep watching.
Yeah, Stranger Things. I mean, like you said, it's not really spooky, but it has its spooky moments.
What's your favorite anime? Is it just Code Geass?
Yeah, it is.
We had some answers. We had some questions from follow tracks too. I'll pull those up. I might make a stream highlights of all the questions we answer, maybe depending if I have time. Follow-Trock's first question was: any thoughts on something that could potentially be the importance of Schneisel, as in any symbolic meaning for Lelouch or the show?
In relation to his relationship with Schneisel?
I suppose so. I just read the question word for word. Hey, I'm Blue Black Ops.
Hey, he's here for the next stream too. That's awesome. Let's see. I do kind of talk about. Well.
Are you walking on eggshells here?
And I'm just sort of mentally clarifying. I guess, yeah, I plan to talk about Schneisel sort of soon, so I don't really want to talk about him in this stream. I feel like that's an excuse I've given a lot of times, but in this case, it's very, I mean it, okay? I'm not making it up.
So if the question is just, do you have thoughts? The answer is yes, he has thoughts.
Yeah, and you will be doing them relatively soon, I promise.
Avatar Cora says, have you watched One Piece? I think I've seen like a couple episodes. I try to avoid shows that are just like that long. Hold on, there's a truck. Like the only reason I watched Naruto incomplete was just because I watched it as a kid. So like it was easy. It was never a 500 episode show. It was like just something I did once a week, or watch like 20 episodes a month or something like that. So it was never like this huge commitment. But if I were to watch One Piece right now, like that's my next month. That's all I could do.
Yeah. I also watched, well, I didn't get into One Piece as a kid like I did with Naruto, because One Piece just had like a slightly later time slot, I believe. So every time I tried to watch One Piece, I just ended up falling asleep. So I never really got into it, and I completely ended up missing the entire series.
There's gonna be a season 3 of Stranger Things. That's already confirmed? That's fast. When did season 2 come out?
Stranger... That was like late last year, wasn't it?
Was it? Whoops. Stranger Things season 3 gets lower episode count. How many episodes are we getting? Alright. I guess that's cool. I mean, I definitely will watch it at some point. A lot of the questions about whether or not I will watch something usually stems from, can I make a video about it? Just because that takes up a lot of my time. And, there's enough content in Stranger Things that I could tell there would be something I could make a video for. But another question on top of that is it a video that you guys want to see? And I'm sure there's there's plenty of you who would be fine with it, but the fact of the matter is we've cultivated an audience around anime for the most part, so it may not be everyone's interest. Mark Nut says, what's your most overrated anime in both of your opinions? Overrated.
Most overrated. Yeah. Kind of trying to think about it.
I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't seen a lot of like the classics, so I can't go from that route. So I kind of just had to go with like modern popular stuff. Let me check my anime list, see if I can look at the most popular stuff. Let's see.
Most of the
top
like
anime.
fairly overrated shows I can think of are ones that aren't really overrated in our community.
Yeah,
like-
so like I could say Sword Art Online's overrated because it's like the third most popular show on my anime list, but like that's, I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah.
that's barely a discussion point. I guess maybe Angel Beats. I didn't really
I
enjoy
think-
that one, and that's like
As Sword Art Online in that respect.
that's what you said in the podcast too, and I can't verify that just because I haven't heard many people talk about Angel Beats, but it is 5th most popular. I guess let me go by top rated. Top anime. Is there a top score? Oh, is this what this is? Okay. I haven't seen a lot of these, to be honest. Can I say Haikyuu, the 3rd season, is the most overrated because it's 16th? Haikyuu is my favorite anime. Jesus, 16 is a pretty high spot for all of anime. Which actually goes into Paul Robertshaw's question: have you seen Haikyuu? Yes, I've seen Haikyuu, and it is my favorite anime. Contrary to what I just said.
Well, you did also say that earlier, so you just contradicted yourself left and right.
Yeah, I'm a pancake. What else is here? Okay, I'll take this hot take. Let me turn on the lamp. Hold on. Be right back. All right, hot take. Prepare to hit unsubscribe. I think Miyazaki is just a little bit overrated. I don't enjoy his movies all that much. Oh wait, no, even better answer, because I still see value in it. I just don't personally enjoy it. My actual answer is Your Lie in April. I think Your Lie in April is genuinely not good. So that's what I'll say is overrated. Mark Nut says, I think the best part of your videos is the analytical view. If you could translate that to most anything, I'd be down to watch it in terms of Stranger Things. I mean, I hope most people would feel that way, but I just don't know if that's the case. I mean, I still might do it anyways, just because maybe not for Stranger Things. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but for non-anime, I might just do it just because I, kind of want to do whatever I want, but it is definitely at least a concern in my mind is, will people care? So
Yeah, I feel the same way. There are plenty of things that I would want to make a video about if I could make a video about anything, but in truth, whether or not people will watch the video does decide whether or not we want to make one project versus another.
yeah, like if I only have one idea, then I'll make that idea whether or not I think the audience will care. But if I have 2 ideas and one's an anime and the other one's an obscure, I don't know, webcomic, then I'm probably gonna do the anime.
Yeah. Have you played Persona? I played the Persona fighting game. I didn't play any of the real Persona games.
I've never played Persona. I'm not a huge gamer. I don't play many video games, to be honest. Have you ever seen the 7 Deadly Sins? It's super good and kind of funny too. Uh-oh, Chloe Chan. We do have a video on 7 Deadly Sins. Or not a video on 7 Deadly Sins, but it talks about
We
it.
talked about the Deadly Sins a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll say,
go ahead.
listen, Chloe, I'm not trying to get off on the wrong foot here. I do like 7 Deadly Sins, despite what Hoodie is about to say. I have issues with the anime adaptation, but the manga, I've been reading it since day one. It's quality stuff. But yeah, I should have.
Yeah, and if you go onto our channel and check the video, Made in Abyss, or what is it called?
breaking the mold.
Yeah,
with
Breaking the
Made-
Mold with Made in Abyss and Planetarian. That video talks about Seven Deadly Sins. It only really talks about it through the framework of this show had too many episodes, but it does present the general opinion that Zero didn't like the show all that much, but did like the anime. Bob FDS says Made in Abyss, best anime of 2017. You probably have a more qualified. Well, I don't think either of us are qualified to say that because we didn't see enough anime in 2017, like enough of the new releases. But I didn't even see Made in Abyss, so I guess you are a little more qualified than I am.
Made in Abyss was definitely a contender, in my opinion. Of the shows that I did see, it was the best, but there were also shows that I saw that looked as interesting that I didn't get to actually watch. But
I'm trying to think of even what 2017 shows I watched, because I think it might just be Juni Tyson, which was a bad choice on my part. If I should. So here's my thought process behind what I chose for 2017 to watch, and this plays into what I was talking about of how I choose. Like, I only watch things I can make a video about. I don't know if I get the impression that most AniTubers do this, except they usually just watch more. But the idea was I looked at all of the upcoming anime and I said, what show am I gonna bet on that's gonna be popular so I could like invest my time into that. A lot of people did MMO Junkie, which was the right choice, but I bet, or Ancient Magus Bride, but I bet on Juni Tyson, and I made a Juni Tyson video and it did terrible. Well, not terrible, it did alright. It didn't do good though.
yeah, such is life.
Any My Hero... Marknut says, how'd y'all meet and start the channel? We told the story a couple times at this point. It's we met in middle school, and we became really close friends in 8th grade, or 7th grade. Then we stopped talking all that much in 7th grade, and then we met up again in high school, and the basic gist was just that that's how we met. But how we started the channel was basically just I don't know. There's different versions of the story depending on how modest or how egocentrical I'm feeling. But the basic gist was, hey, we could do this. These guys aren't even that good. So we did it. Which I think now that I've done it, that was definitely not... I mean, I'm glad we did it, and I'm glad we're doing it right now, but if I could tell my younger self one thing, and by younger, I just mean a year ago, you are not better than most of these people, so check your ego.
Yeah, true.
Paul Robertshaw says, any My Hero videos on the way? I will say potentially. I am... So right now, I just put up my last... well, not my last. I just put up another Avatar video, and then I have one more on the way that's going to take, a lot of time to do that. But then after that video, I don't necessarily have a concrete idea for the next one. So it is entirely possible that I revisit My Hero Academia. But I won't promise it, but it's definitely possible.
I'm waiting for things that have happened in the manga to happen in the anime before I start making another My Hero Academia video.
This is the slowest chess game in the world.
I think the system works of like only playing moves when we've answered all the questions.
It's a nice slow game. Pascal Amin says, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. The Avatar video was amazing. I recognize you. The Avatar video was amazing. Glad to hear you will make another one. Sorry, what'd you say, Zero?
It's probably Pascal.
Pascal Amin. I applied an accent to you, but I guess I don't know where you're from. The Avatar video was amazing. Glad to hear you will make another one. Yeah, I mean the intention was to just make the one, and that was the Avatar Atla versus Locke video that I did a couple weeks ago. That was the only one I had planned, and then I released it, and then I started getting comments, and they were like, "This doesn't even answer the questions," or like, "This doesn't actually say anything." Well, it says stuff, but it's like not addressing the complaints, and I I still love the video. I think it was I wish I could change it now a little bit, but for the most part I still like it. And I just wish that I had made it longer. So now I'm basically just covering up. So the video that just came out the other day, or yesterday actually at this point, is basically just to clarify all the points I made in that last video, and I hope it stands on its own. And I'm done with all of that. And then the next video, I'm just going to be talking about what everyone says is the problem with Legend of Korra, and that's the writing. And that's probably going to be a bit of a long video. Mark Nutt says the manga gets so good in My Hero. So the only reason I don't read manga, and we've talked about this a little bit before too, is that I have what I've described as picture dyslexia, which is basically just to say that whenever I read manga, and this applies to comic books and manga, but mostly manga because it's all black and white, is I just look at it and everything starts to blend in with each other, and I can never tell what's happening, and it's really difficult for me to read. So that's the only reason I don't read it. Pascal, I'm in. Is that what you? I got that right? Hell yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fella had some more questions that we can answer. Second question was, which element would you bend? This one's a pretty easy one. I've always stood by the idea that Earth is not only my favorite element, but objectively the best element to bend. And I was
have enough that opinion for a while.
And I've been refining that idea the more and more I think about it. I still stand by it for the most part, but I'll tell you what has been even more refined is the fact that I've pretty much confirmed that air is just a terrible element. I would hate to be, well, if it's between me now or me as an airbender, sure, I'll take airbending. But if I had to be an airbender sitting next to any other bender, I'd be so upset. Oh, hey, fella, how's it going? Glad you could be here.
Hey, boy.
We just answered some of your questions. I hope you heard the last one. We just answered what element. Well, I answered Earth. Zero didn't answer yet.
Yeah. What element would I bend? See, this one's been a real head scratcher for me. Pretty much since Avatar came out, I've always been thinking about it, and I don't know. I don't think it's as straightforward. I don't think Earth is necessarily the best, or air is necessarily the worst. I think metal bending is really versatile, but I don't want to take earth bending necessarily, just in case metal bending ends up not being an option for me. I guess water bending. Water bending has healing, which is good. Healing, bending. I don't know if guys physically can't do that for some reason. I can't imagine why they wouldn't be able to, but if that is the case, that would suck. But water's still pretty good, even if you can't heal people with it.
Oh, it's a Swedish name. I applied in a Middle Eastern accent or something. I don't know. Bob FDS says, I really loved your video about Nier. Say thank you.
Oh, how did I miss that? I was like, where is that in the chat? Hey, thanks, Bob.
Mark Nutt says, any unique or interesting characters that either you haven't done? Oh yeah, plenty. I mean, if I don't, the most likely, or the most probable video I do after my Korra one is probably going to be on Haikyuu, and I'll probably talk about Oikawa. I'm not 100% sold on that idea, but that is my most refined idea. So it's probable that that's going to be the one. What about you, Zero?
Let's see. aside from Schneisel, the the next character I thought about doing was Colin, but then I realized that's another Code Geass character, so I'm probably gonna talk about someone not from that show.
Do you have an answer, or should I just ask the next question?
Just ask the next question.
All right. Freddie Boy says, "How old are you?" We're both 19. I'm about to turn 20. I'm not about to,
Yep.
but very close. To ask another follow question, if he's still here, he says, "Favorite OPs?" That is a good question. I have a special. This isn't my favorite, but I have a special place for My Hero Academia OP3 because I don't feel like it gets enough credit. I think it is easily the best of the three, and I don't feel like other people share that opinion, which I think is unfortunate. I guess there might be more than 3 OPs now, but that's... I don't know. That is the one I like the most.
I believe there's still only 3.
What other good OPs are there? Oh, FMA, Brotherhood, OP1 is good. Naruto, OP5. Is that the right one? Hold on, I'm gonna put that on for a second.
I always lose track of what my favorite Naruto OP is.
Yeah, this one. I'm playing for you guys. This one's my favorite Naruto OP.
Is this one also the one that I say is my favorite? Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's-
What's colors? I might not recognize it. Hold on. I might not recognize it by the name. But oh, colors is the first. Jiboon, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. I haven't seen Code Geass in its full. I've only seen the first couple episodes, but I would say that is definitely a banger of an OP.
It definitely is. Maybe not my favorite, but it's quality. Actually, it's my second favorite of the series after the 5th OP.
Wait, there's one that's better than the first one? That's crazy.
In my individual opinion that no one shares, the 5th one is better than the first one.
Paul also asked, where would Mello rank in your favorite Death Note characters? I was almost inclined to not answer this because I feel like I've cultivated this own mindset that is, I haven't actually even seen Death Note, but I have. Because Death Note has become so much of your thing. He's like, you know, I don't think I've covered Death Note at all on this channel. Only you have. So, he kind of like in my head has been alongside Code Geass with like, this isn't your show. You've never even seen it, but I have seen Death Note, and for my ranking, now keep in mind I haven't seen it in over. I watched it in 7th grade, which was 7 years ago, maybe a little longer, 7-8 years ago. So, I would say that it is. Mello is probably. I don't know. I want to say high, but I never shared the opinion that the second half of Death Note gets worse. But I also, it was so long ago that I watched it that I might feel that way now. I know that you don't, but
I kind of want you to watch Death Note again, just so I know whether you're truly my trusted ally, or if I must slay you with the others.
Based off of raw memory, I know I used to love Matt a lot, which is totally unfounded. I just, you know, it's like the Boba Fett effect, where they show up for 5 seconds to the coolest character. I'll say Mello I liked a fair amount. I don't have like a numbered spot, but
I'll say it is tough because there's so many good characters in Death Note, and Mello and I, you know, we've had a rough relationship over the years. I like him, but he doesn't rank too high on my list. He's below Light. Um, probably below Ryuk.
Fulla says he's my third favorite, just below Nier. Does that mean? I mean, I assume it. If Nier's your second favorite, I assume either L or Light has to be your first. In which case, I'm curious which one, because that puts the other one at potentially fourth or lower.
That's crazy.
Bob says excited for Code Geass season 3. Are you? Of course you are.
Oh god, no!
Are you
I
not?
never want to see Code Geass season 3.
Well, that could be an. I don't know if you're being joking about it or not, but you know, some could have that opinion because it's like,
Yeah.
don't touch
Yeah.
my.
Yeah, it had the perfect ending, and now they're just making more for money. That's what everyone thinks.
Is that not what you say?
I mean, I'll say it if that's what I think when it comes out, but I don't think that's the case yet.
Okay, fair enough.
Because there has been some evidence that this was planned, but I don't know.
Well, if you're talking about the Code Geass theory, then some people on Reddit would be. Well, one guy on Reddit would very adamantly disagree with you.
Oh no, not that.
Okay. Camille Doski says you make great video theories on anime, is I assume what he's trying to say, and I say thank you very much, Camille. I appreciate that compliment. We try our hardest.
Yeah, I like that.
Tanner Hawkins says, why do people not like the second half of Death Note? Well, I can't speak for them, but I can say what I think their arguments are, and it just basically comes down to it feels kind of ass-bully. It feels like the general opinion that I gather seems to be that there is no reason L should have died, and that in his death, the only thing to come out was that we got two inferior characters. That's, I don't necessarily hold that opinion. I would need to rewatch the show to really think about it, but that is what they say.
Yeah.
Mark Nutt says best Locke antagonist. There's really only the answer of Zahir. Yeah, I think Zahir is just. Well, I will say it's Zahir, but I will say that a lot of people don't give credit to Tarlok from season 1. Amon was good. I didn't like, the whole waterbending twist, but Tarlok was consistently good, and he had a really great capstone to his arc, which I thought was fantastic.
That's true. Tarlok was pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people, he doesn't even get brought up in the conversation all that often, just because there's like this notion of there's like one villain per season, so like it is just Amon, Unalak, Zahir, and then Kubira, but there's like so many mini villains along the way that just don't get talked about. Mark Nutt also says best anime antagonist. If we're just talking about our favorites, because there's obviously going to be, there's going to be like the popular, there's going to be like the most acclaimed ones, which are like Johannes from Monster. Is that his name, Johannes?
Johann Lieber.
Johann Lieber. Sorry, I only saw the first couple episodes of Monster, but that is like obviously one of the most famous antagonists, I guess. But I've never seen Monster, so I can't say that. I've only seen the first couple episodes, rather. So my favorite antagonist. That's a tough one. What do you think? Hello, Zero. Hello.
Huh.
Are you here, Zero?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Best anime antagonist?
Best anime antagonist. I mean, technically, like, L's an anime antagonist, right? Do you think he would be...
I think he falls more into the line of deuteragonist. Although terms aren't exclusive, but I would say in this case it is.
I would say he's a straight-up antagonist in Death Note's case, because he's
L?
like... opposing Light, the protagonist.
The reason I would say I don't necessarily feel the same way is because I don't necessarily think Light is the straight, clear-cut protagonist. So while they are, so for Zuko and Aang, I made the argument that they aren't even all that against each other, and that's why they're not antagonist. That's why he's not an antagonist. In this case, I would say they are against each other, but there's no clear-cut main character. And in that, while I would lean towards the side of Light, I think you could make an argument towards the fact that it's like a 60-40 split.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess I see where you're getting at. Okay, so no longer trying to completely avoid the question. Best anime antagonist. I mean, I kind of want to give it to Schneisel, but that might be a little predictable.
Man,
Yeah,
I want to
of course
I kind of just want to give it to Oikawa again as my personal favorite, just because. And this, I'll talk about this in the video if I make it, but I think he really speaks to me on like a. I don't want to use the word philosophical, excuse me, but like a work ethic, or I don't know, just like mentality towards growth. Like his whole, the basis of his character just speaks to me so much that I love it so much. Bob says best antagonist from Hunter. Oh, he's just saying best antagonist is Hisoka from Hunter x Hunter. That's the clown guy, right?
Yes, clown boy.
I've never seen Hunter x Hunter, but I also enjoy that guy a lot from the little I know, which is basically nothing.
He's a pretty cool guy. I mean, it's basically just Orochimaru crossed with the Joker.
Oh, I hate him.
Well,
I love Orochimaru. I don't really like the Joker all that much. I would give Orochimaru a special shout out on the best antagonist in anime category.
Well, yeah, he's definitely more Orochimaru leaning than Joker leaning. It's just like the whole clown thing.
It's a bit iffy if Rem is an antagonist, not gonna lie. I don't know if he's responding to someone. Rem. Yeah, I mean it is so hard in such like because it's not really a question of like morally gray, because you could have a morally gray protagonist. It's just the time spent on each character is so divided in Death Note that it's really hard to point towards one as saying this is the protagonist. And in that line of thought, if you view, I don't know, I guess you could see, because Rem kind of opposes everyone. Well, Tanner says if the antagonist is the one in the story that acts and the protagonist is the one who reacts. I think in general that's the case, but I don't think it's always the case. In fact, we have a friend who is working on a video about that very same notion, and it will probably go up on our channel when he's done, depending on if we like it or not. So you might hear that very idea tackled. One says, do you read One Piece? We answered that earlier. We don't, unfortunately. Sorry. Paul Arbitrage. Yeah. It's not that I think it's bad or anything. If I had watched it as a kid, I would almost definitely have kept up with it to this day, but I just never got into it as a kid. Alexander says, watch Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, hey, it's Alexander in the chat.
How's it going? You know what? It's a hard one because I have every single person in the world telling me to watch it. At this point, it's almost like a test of my resolve to say no. Paul Roberts says, in future, would you guys make videos on long series like Bleach, Naruto, One Piece? It mostly just depends on Naruto, almost definitely, because we've already seen it. Bleach and One Piece would almost. The problem is just it's a commitment, because even if I watch all of One Piece, let's say, there's no guarantee I come out of it with like this is something I want to talk about. I could watch all of One Piece and be like, yeah, that was alright, and then I basically wasted a month of my time watching that and came out of it with nothing.
I'm
I
not
mean,
too sure about that. I wonder if there's actually enough content in One Piece that if you watched it, anyone could make like a full video on it.
that's possible. That is definitely possible. Bob says you should watch Hunter x Hunter, one of the best anime. You know what? All right, I'll. I don't want to make any promises I won't keep. I'm trying to figure out when is an appropriate time because I gotta work on other videos. So I will watch it. I will watch it at some point this year. At some point in 2018, I will watch Hunter x Hunter. Tanner Hawkins says, to those who watched Hunter x Hunter, do you consider Hunter x Hunter a deconstruction of the shonen genre? Deconstruction is a bit of an iffy word. So I can't comment on this because I haven't seen it, but I don't think Zero has an opinion on this either because of how gray that term is. Do you, Zero?
I'm still here.
No, so do you have an opinion on Hunter x Hunter being a deconstruction?
I mean, not really, no.
Yeah.
For the reason that you just gave. It's kind of like, I don't know, there's so much debate surrounding that term.
It's a really hard, because the thing is, because I sort of call Korra a deconstruction in my video. I say it deconstructs elements, but I don't necessarily call it a deconstruction. But in doing research for that video, I was watching all of these analysis videos on deconstructions. I was doing all this reading, and it's like people speak with such conviction about what is or isn't, and a lot of times these people are completely contradicting each other. Like someone will be like, this is what a deconstruction is, and that's why Madoka is a deconstruction. And another guy will be like, you're an idiot, Madoka isn't a deconstruction for blah blah blah. And it's like, there's no clear answer here, and I don't want to get tangled up in this fight. So it's a bit hard of a subject to talk on. Question for Zero: would you think R2 is a 3-person battle that is Schneizel, Lelouch, and Charles? Also, what do you think the main game is in R1? Lelouch versus Suzaku? Question mark. Did you drop? Hello, are you here? No, looks like Zero's gone, folks. His phone's dead. He will be back with us momentarily. In the meantime, you could just stare at that frozen screenshot of him. I guess I'll answer questions while he... Oh, no, he's gone. No more frozen screenshot. Do you have any opinions on Fate Zero or any other Fate series? Let me check to see the one I watched, because I watched the first couple episodes of one of the shows, and I imagine it was Fate Zero, but I might be wrong. Yeah, I watched a little bit of Fate Zero. It was... Alright, see you soon, follow. It was interesting. I really like the idea of, like, these battle royale situations. So the concept of Fate was, like, super interesting to me. And if I wasn't so picky about what I'd watch, I probably would have given it more time. But because it was only like all right, it wasn't great, it was just good, that I kind of put it off after the first couple episodes. He died the moment I specifically asked him a question. Yeah, unfortunately. I'll ask him how quick it'll be to get him back. Do you think there will be another Avatar series? I didn't think there would be another one after Atla, but I was also a lot younger, so I didn't really have a good reasoning for that. So I'll say that probably not. I think Break, which are the creators, I think they've stopped working together. Not for like any reason other than they just wanted to do other things with their life. So I think Avatar's done, though I would definitely enjoy another take on it. Maybe it's always iffy handing off to someone else to create, but you know, I wouldn't be opposed to watching more of it. I don't think there's like, I don't think the story has to end here, and there's still comics being produced and stuff. So, all right, Zero says he'll be back in a couple minutes. Brian Lowe says Korra is pretty good. I would agree with that. I'd say Korra's great. Bob says, I am the only one who hated Suzaku until the last part of season 2. Oh, am I the only one? I've only seen the first 9 episodes of Code Geass. I would say that, it was too long ago for me to have a good opinion. I don't remember disliking him all that much, so I can't really comment on that. I want to see an Avatar series about Aang and Zuko rebuilding the world. Well, they had comics about that, not in its entirety, but they had The Promise. Yeah, The Promise was about Zuko becoming the Fire Lord and the struggle of removing Fire Nation colonies from the Earth Kingdom, and it was about Yu Dao, which is one of the colonies. And in that comic, Aang uses the Avatar state to separate Yu Dao, which eventually becomes Republic City, if I'm remembering correctly. So there is a little bit of that in the comics, and I think The Promise is pretty decent. So if you're really into that, then I would suggest that comic. But I will say that most of the comics are not that great, so maybe don't bank on it. I want to see an Avatar that is twins, even though it may not work, as in both twins are the Avatar. I don't think that is, I guess there's no rule against it, but if there was a series where like one twin was the Avatar and the other, the other twin is just normal, that could be interesting, like a sort of Cain and Abel situation. Thoughts on Zahir specifically? I don't want to talk about it too much because it's probably going to be talked about in my next video, but the basic gist, in my opinion, is that Zahir is the best Locke villain. I think Anarchy is reasonably a little bit of a silly concept. So this is kind of in response to Lily Pete's The Legend of Korra's Garbage and Here's Why video, which there are a lot of video takedowns of Korra, like this is why Korra's terrible, blah blah blah, whatever, and most of them are pretty trash in my opinion. Honestly, like they're actually really bad. But I'll say Lily Pete's video is at least pretty good. And in that video, she talks about this one point that like Zahir is a terrible villain because anarchy makes no sense and it just isn't a feasible philosophy and there's no way it would have worked for the world, and because of that, Zahir is bad, which I think there is merit to the argument, but my combat to that is the idea that it's okay to have a flawed philosophy because it's reasonable to think why someone in that world would come to that conclusion. So basically, like, imagine you're in a world where the last, 100 years has been basically this, Nazi Germany taking over, except it's the Fire Nation. The Fire Nation has been basically destroying the world, and you come out of that. It's reasonable to say that, maybe authoritative positions are inherently bad. And it's a little more nuanced than that, and I'll, get into it more in the video, but the basic gist is, despite anarchy being perhaps a little flimsy of philosophy, I can totally understand why someone would become an anarchist in the Avatar world. Favorite character in My Hero Academia is probably... Alright, keep in mind that I only saw season 1. Alright, this is going to be a controversial opinion. Let me... My Hero Academia Cape guy. This is my favorite character. Like, straight up, no joke. My favorite moment in the show, and I watched up to the end of I watched the beginning of the apprenticeships or what were they called, internships or whatever. I watched the beginning of that arc, so I had just finished the tournament arc. And my favorite moment in the entire show was Sero fighting. What's his name? I know it's Shoto, but what's his? My Academia. What's his first name? Todoroki. That's right. Sero fighting Todoroki, I think, was probably the best fight in the series for me personally, because I really love the mental resolve Sero showed when he got into that fight, where he basically said, "I will lose. There is no way I win this fight, but I'm not gonna go down defenseless." And he immediately starts the fight by like just straight up blitzing Todoroki to try to just cheese out a victory and get a quick unexpected win. And that resolve to like defy the odds on like, because there's no reasonable way that Todoroki loses that fight, but the fact that Sero didn't give up, that spoke paragraphs and paragraphs about his character. And so yeah, that's why I like him a lot. The search talks about what happens to Zuko's mom. Yeah, I didn't get around to reading it, but I did like read the synopsis. It seemed like interesting stuff. The only reason I didn't read it was because there was no Avatar State in it. I was doing a video on the Avatar State, so I just kind of skipped over it. But I'll probably go back to it eventually. All right, Zero's coming back, boys. Hello?
Hey,
Hey, we got Zero back.
I'm back on the stream, guys.
Fala went to take a shower, so we'll pause on his question until he comes back. Brian Lowe says there was a critique of your part 1 video of Locke and Atla that Locke doesn't answer any of the philosophical questions posed by the series. Do you disagree with that? Does the show need to? That is an interesting question. I would say that's partially wrong. I think it's very subtle, but for example, I would say one of the overarching questions of the show. Well, I guess how would you define answer? Because it doesn't answer these questions, because if it was as simple as just answering them, then they wouldn't be questions at all, right? Like, we wouldn't have philosophical debates on what government to use if it was as simple as, oh, this one's the best. You know, it's not that simple. So to expect the Legend of Korra to just answer would be almost propaganda in some sense, right? If some reason the show ends with Korra being like, well, I guess capitalism is the answer, that's a little weird, you know? Yeah, I get what you're saying, Brian. So I would say that it doesn't answer the questions, but I think it's unreasonable to have any show answer the questions, but it does explore them a little bit. So for example, season 1 ends and we disband the council because the idea of authoritative corruption, and you know, we saw that, and maybe they went the wrong way, but it still explored it. They disband the council and instead invoke a president. And then, you know, the Earth Queen dies and they bring on a new king, and then that king steps down to bring up a new council. So I guess in some way you could say that it kind of just ends off where it starts. I would need to think about it more, but I would say in general, I don't think that critique holds up too much. Sadiq says, so I just came, what the hell is happening? Oh, well, we were supposed to be playing chess. I guess it's my turn. I know, is it your turn? No, it's my turn. What were you answering before you left?
I was answering Fulla's questions, but he is in the shower.
Well, you can answer them now anyways, because We'll probably just upload this stream afterwards. And he has more questions too, so we'll just answer those when he comes back.
Sure. Okay, so is R2 a three-person battle? In a sense, yes. All three sides, Schneisel, Lelouch, and Charles all take shots at each other. Well, not really. Shots between Schneisel and Charles are usually from just Schneisel. Charles doesn't really quarrel with his kids because he thinks they're beneath him or whatever. But I guess for that reason, actually, I wouldn't say it's a three-person battle. I would say it's primarily about Lelouch and Charles. To answer your follow-up question, I would say Art 1 is kind of the same, except not really. The reason I give these answers is that I think it's about Lelouch's perspective. And from Lelouch's perspective, all of this is, part of the game between him and his father, Emperor Charles. So, wouldn't say R2 is a three-person battle. I'd say it's a two-person battle between Lelouch and Charles, but then a simultaneous two-person battle between Lelouch and Schneisel. And then Schneisel throws shots at Charles sometimes, but they're not reciprocated.
So it's not a triangle, it's just three intersecting lines.
No.
Totally not. Is that not what you just described?
I guess, well, all three characters interact with each other, but that doesn't make it a triangle. I mean...
Yeah, sure. I get what you're saying. It's kind of like... Maybe it is a triangle, but it's like... Isosceles... No, what's the scaling? No,
Scaling.
No, I'm thinking isosceles because it's like got one really short side.
Oh, yeah. Isosceles is two equal sides, one...
Yeah, so it's like an isosceles triangle where it's like one of those sides isn't really like it's a lot smaller. It's Lelouch versus this guy, Lelouch versus this guy, and then the small side is the two guys kind of do a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. So in that sense, okay, yeah, it's a triangle now. We found exactly what kind of triangle it is.
Yeah. Tanner Hawkins says most overrated anime in your opinion. We answered this one a little earlier. I think I came to Your Lie in April, and did you have an answer?
Did I have an answer? I don't think so. I guess if I were to give an answer, I'd probably say Attack on Titan. Maybe not like the most overrated anime ever, but it's one of the most overrated anime recently.
Brian Less says, what does Zero think about R3? You sort of talked about this, but I guess just a quick answer.
I am mostly optimistic. I want to believe that the people who made Code Geass good in the first place will make it good again.
Let me ask you a chess question. If I'm just like, is it? I mean, it's obviously the best player is constantly making moves towards something, but an average player, is it okay for them to just kind of be like stalling? Just moving pieces that don't really do anything because you're not really sure what to do next? Or is that like straight up noob?
It depends on, I don't know. What do you mean by okay? Because it's not gonna get you to win if you're not doing intentional moves. But, I mean, it's legal.
Okay, great. Sadiq says, I have a question that might change the course of human history. If you had to choose right now, would you eat an apple and orange? I don't like oranges all that much. I do like clementines or mandarins. So I would say of those two options, I would take apple. But if I could add a third, not really a third, like an isosceles triangle kind of, I would add a clementine.
They're like clementines to oranges. Pretty similar, actually.
Best and worst thing about Death Note. I don't know if I have an answer for this. This is way more in your realm.
Best thing about Death Note, I guess, it's all the strategic battle between Lelouch. No, wait, that's a different show. Light and El and Nier and Mela. The worst thing, I don't know, probably like Misa or some shit.
Is she considered a bad character? When I watched it 8 years ago, I thought she was pretty. Let's be honest, I thought she was cute, and I guess that's enough for me.
I guess I don't know what other people think about her because I haven't seen any like videos about her or anything. Go figure. But she's, I don't know, man. I think some people do like her actually. It's hard to tell.
Paul Robertshaw says, "Who is your waifu for laifu?" This one has to go to me. I would say, okay, there's two answers here. Well, there's a couple answers, but the one that stands out to me right away is Alice from Food Wars. But the second one, which may be the first one now that I think about it, is actually Kushina from Naruto or Sakura from Naruto, but that's a controversial one.
The Naruto girls.
What can I say? Bob says Misa is annoying and stupid, but she is good looking. That's what I'm saying, Bob. You know what I'm saying, dog? That's all I care about.
Hell yeah, Bob. Bob knows what it's about.
You didn't answer your waifu, though.
Oh, it's definitely C2, 100%.
Oh, yeah, I guess that was an obvious one.
I don't know if it's obvious to people who've like been on the channel. Maybe if they've seen that one video about C2, but...
Well, you also had... Oh, was it in that video that you said C2 is the only girl for Zero?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's only one anime girl for Zero, and that's C2.
Let me ask you a question, and this, this would be helping me if you answered, but, just, please. If I take that pawn with my bishop, you obviously take it with your queen, but if I don't do it, you just take it anyways with your pawn. So it is the best move to just at least get something out of it and take it with your pawn, right? Take your pawn, right?
Another option is to move the bishop.
Oh, that's true. I guess that's indicative of my mentality. It's all or nothing. I ain't no pussy bitch. Alright. Is that a worse option or a better option?
Depends on where you move it.
I'll just move it. I guess I can move it up, but I was thinking about just moving it down.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna go with my gut. I'm gonna take your pawn, and you know what? We'll just have to accept that.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
One says the isosceles triangle is gonna save us all. I agree. Uh-oh, Sadiq said your name in chat. Okay, Sadiq, let me ask you a question. Do you remember his name from something else, or did I just leak it a couple minutes ago or something?
I'm pretty sure you probably said it like just now. Oh, whoops.
Well, I maybe said it now in response to his comment, but I didn't say it earlier than that, did I?
I think you may have said it when you asked me about the game.
Oh, whoops.
But I'm not sure. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I've only leaked it 20 other times. Robert Larson says, I don't think Misa's stupid all the time. She does some pretty clever stuff. She just let her love for Laika in the way of her common sense sometimes. Can you name some clever things she did? I guess the way she orchestrated herself meeting Light was somewhat clever, right?
Yeah. She...
How do I lose?
Hmm?
No, I don't
Oh
lose.
no, not yet.
Wait, why didn't it let me move my king to D1?
It's the rook on D8.
Oh, I didn't see that. Brian Lowe says, what was the problem with the Higuchi arc of Death Note? I thought it was fun and showed that Light would have been good without the Death Note. Which arc is that?
The Yotsuba arc.
Oh.
There's not necessarily like a problem. Well, I guess there are problems with it, otherwise it wouldn't be the worst arc. But I mean, it's still good. Like, it's all the arcs of Death Note are still, in my opinion, great. But what I particularly take issue with in terms of the Yotsuba arc in particular is that it sort of gets rid of the whole like Kira versus L dynamic for like a big chunk of it. In most of the show, Kira's like aware of the fact that L is chasing him and is actively making moves to either kill L or like get him off his trail. Most of Yotsuba was kind of just Higuchi like running around, not having no idea that he was being lured into a trap by L and Light. So
How long were those? How long was that arc?
9 episodes.
That's interesting because in my memory, having seen the show a long time ago, I only remember that being like 2 episodes, and I think that stands as to like this arc really only served as a stepping stone to clear Light's name, and Higuchi as a character is totally not like, who cares? And maybe I'm off base with that, but if I were to just gather why I have no idea, like why I barely remember any of that, I would have to imagine it has something to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, no one really cares about Higuchi. Even when people talk about the Yotsuba arc, they're just talking about Light and L still.
Bob says, is there any love for Shirley? I think she is the best girl for Lelouch. Screw C2. Yes. Zero, what's your opinion on that?
Okay. Bob, everyone's entitled to their opinions.
Hey, welcome back, fella.
Hey, welcome back. I guess Shirley's not a bad option for Lelouch in terms of like if they were to actually date. I think she's probably second best.
Peace out, Paul. It's good to have you.
Oh, hi, Paul. Yeah, Shirley, she's a nice girl. She like genuinely cares about Lelouch, which is a good thing for a girlfriend to do. So I'll give you some credit for that. But she's no C2. Come on.
All right, since Paul is back, let's answer his question. His last question actually was favorite Code Geass moments.
Favorite Code Geass moments.
Well, I haven't seen most of the show, but I will say that the one moment to have stuck with me all this time was what's her face masturbating with the side of a table. I distinctly remember messaging you like because I saw it and I thought I was having this like moment of realization that no one else did. I was like, wow, this girl totally looks like she's masturbating. I mean, that's not what the show's that's not what's happening because there's no way. But clearly I made a connection here that no one else did. And then, yeah, boy, was I wrong.
It's like, wait, is she masturbating? And she was.
Fella says, in my opinion, Lulu X C2 is by far the best ship. Lelouch was always his true self with C2. Zero, Lamperouge, Zero, and V Britannia, and plus the genuinely emotional moments they shared.
That is a big part of the reason why I advocate for C2 being like Lelouch's actual GF as opposed to Shirley, because I mean Shirley, there was always going to be some barrier between Lelouch and Shirley. He didn't really see her as someone he could be honest with, as he did see C2. So
Why can't I castle here, by the way?
You can't castle because my queen is covering G1.
Okay. Mark Knott says, "Are you named after the Mega Man Zero series?" No, he's named after Zero from Code Geass. Something I fought him on, by the way. When we were making this channel, I didn't want him to be named Zero, but I also didn't want to fight about it.
Yeah.
What anime did you enjoy just as much as Death Note? From Abdi Omar. Well, I mean, clearly, for you it'd be Code Geass because that's your favorite anime.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of anime because Death Note isn't my favorite show, but I mean, I feel like he's probably asking like, what's a show that's similar to Death Note that I can check out? Maybe I'm projecting too much onto his question.
Well, the answer is probably still a fair amount of Code Geass, right?
Yeah, Code Geass is a reasonable answer in that regard. I usually say one outs because that's another show that's more about
Smart guy anime.
Yeah, and I guess Monster kind of. These are all Death Note-esque shows about like trying to strategize to beat other people at something.
Fola says, by the way, I find it strange that I thought of half analysis. I thought of half of analysis on the fact that Nina is using a table to masturbate. I would be interested in seeing that script, so if you want to go ahead and forward that to us, I'll check it out. Coke Zero or Diet Coke? Neither. What the heck? Is there a reason to not just drink Coke? I mean, there's a reason to not drink Coke, but why would you drink the other options instead?
Yeah. I don't know. People seem to believe that they're healthier.
Well, Coke Zero might be. I know Diet Coke has all those issues. I don't know. I'm not educated on Coke Zero.
I'm not educated on anything nutritional, really. But I'll say in terms of taste, I don't think I've ever actually had like Coke Zero. I tend to just get Diet Coke.
Coke Zero's
if there's a
right.
non-Coke.
The true answer is just Coke. I'm sorry, Sadiq. Coke Zero does not taste great. It tastes passable. If I need something to drink, I'll drink it. Jackie John says, "What do you think about Casca's current arc in the Berserk manga?" Well, I know I don't read Berserk, but do you?
I picked up the manga like a while ago. I was planning to do the same thing I did with Shokugeki no Soma, which was just continue where they are right now, which is a terrible way to read manga.
Yeah, absolutely horrible.
So I kind of just stopped. So I don't know what's going on with Casca right now. I'd have to. I'm going to at some point probably actually start Berserk and catch up.
Fella says.
I do that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Stuff.
Fella says, "Oh yeah, there was an answer to the was there an answer to the question he asked while he was gone? What was the question again? You did answer it, so I guess if you remember, just repeat it."
Yeah. I said that I think R2 is not really a three-person battle.
Oh yeah, we did. Hold on, I'll interrupt here. I'll take care of it. We determined that it wasn't necessarily a triangle, but more so like it wasn't an equal triangle. It was more so an isosceles where it was like, so I'll here visual demonstration on camera, like two perfectly sided lines of Lelouch at the center going out to two guys at each angle, but in between them was like half a line, and there was a little bit of a mix there, but not quite enough to be a full out conflict.
Yeah, thank you for visually demonstrating.
All right. Let's see. Can you cosplay as minions? Absolutely not. I was still deciding on what my answer was as I was saying that. I was prepared to just say absolutely.
Yeah.
Despicable Me is a masterpiece. I actually don't even know if I've ever seen it. Are you guys gonna watch?
I've seen Despicable Me. I actually did think the first movie was good when I first saw it.
Amba Black Ops says, "Are you guys going to watch the Code Geass movies?" I've pretty much resigned my life to never watching Code Geass, just because, you know, Zero will do it for me.
I think watching the movies would be the appropriate thing for you. Because that'll sort of catch you up.
Are they
on
just
what's
recap
going on.
movies?
Yeah.
Maybe well, yeah, I might. No promises.
Yeah, we'll discuss this in private.
Jordan says, "By the way, I hate Your Lie in April." God bless you, Jordan. I think it was an incredibly overrated show. I liked it a lot the first time I watched it, and then I rewatched it a couple years later, and I was like, "Oh wait, this is actually not good." Funny. Let me ask you guys. Let me ask you guys a question in chat. Have you guys seen Kino's Journey? I'm wondering what the overall opinion of Kino's Journey is. Sadiq says, "Yo,
Yeah.
are you guys or he says, "Are you single?" I assume he's talking about both of us. Yes, we are. Well, I guess I am. I don't know. Zero, are you single?
We'll talk about that off air.
Are you? Is that a joke? Are you joking with me right now?
Well,
I'm gonna kill you. This is not the first time he's done this, by the way. And I don't know. I still don't 100% know if he's joking. But in the past, he has actually just dated girls for like months at a time without mentioning anything to me. And you know, we're not just like partners on a YouTube channel. Like we are very, very close friends.
I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm a mystery. I am an enigma.
No one here has seen Kino's Journey. Okay. Just curious.
Not answer. Oh wait. Okay. Yeah, we answered Fullatrox's question. He just reposted it in the chat for no reason.
Well, did you answer it while he was here?
You did the whole demonstration for him and everything.
No, wasn't that? Oh, what was it? Whatever. I think. Okay, I don't know.
Oh wait, no, that was no. He posted the second question.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I kind of just read like Lelouch and was like, this is the same question.
All right, hurry up and answer that question.
So yeah, I said R1 is also about Lelouch versus Charles. Also, as in R2 is also about Lelouch versus Charles, because that's what Lelouch's thought process is, until it changes towards the end of R2. But most of R1 is Lelouch, or no, most of the series is Lelouch versus Charles.
Robert Larson says, opinion on Psychopaths. I think you don't like it because I remember like I was gonna start watching it, and then you basically, well, the reason I was gonna watch it was because we were hanging out and we had nothing to watch. But you had voiced the opinion that you didn't like it, so we didn't. I never got around to it.
I watched it a while ago, and I didn't hate it. I just sort of got bored with it while I was watching it. I liked the start of it. It was just like around episode 13, I sort of fell off.
What are your plans for Valentine's Day? Zero. Come on, man. I can still have plans even if I'm single. Come on. I have no plans though.
Wait, was Anbu the one who asked if we were single?
No, but follow up.
He's just capitalizing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you're gonna be here. Oh no, actually, I was thinking Valentine's Day is tomorrow for some reason, but it's Wednesday.
Yep.
So do you have plans?
No.
Calliope the Cantaloupe says, Pillow Talk, unironically the best concept for a podcast. Thank you very much. If I'm remembering correctly, Let me just double check so I don't embarrass myself. 1 second. If this is the same Calliope, which I imagine it is, then you pledged to our Patreon earlier, so thank you very much for that. Anyone else who enjoys our content, please feel free to go over onto patreon.com/KatoYT, Katoyt, and give us your money, please. Thank you.
Give us all the cash.
Yeah, much appreciated.
Yes, thank you, Kalia. That was very heartwarming.
Also, shout out to the other 2 patrons, which are Gage Lambert and Danny
Oh, fuck
Donkey.
those guys.
Okay, well, you know what? They're not here, so. Jordan M says Double Sundari and Tsubaki wasn't a needed character. I don't know who Tsubaki, what Tsubaki is referring to. Is there Tsubaki in Code Geass?
No, he's talking about Psychopaths.
Oh, okay.
He's responding to Robert's question.
Oh, I must have missed it. What do you think of episode reviewers? You know, in my honest personal opinion, I think it's kind of trash content. But here's the asterisk: I will never crap on someone for hustling. You know, so I see chibi reviews out here making 3 videos a day or something. You know, respect. I respect that. I respect your ability to make money, but I think that's trash.
Yeah, I mean, my stance is kind of just anyone can make the content they want to, I guess, but I don't have to like it at all.
Yeah. Have either of y'all played Doki Doki Literature Club from Mark Nutt? No. It's, from my understanding, that's a game that really capitalizes off of going into it blind, and I'm not blind. I pretty much, I get what's going on, so it seems like it wouldn't have that much of an impact on me, so, and I don't really play video games all that much either, but I don't know. It kind of seems like a missed opportunity. It's too late for me now. Anbu Black Ops says, who would win in a Pokemon battle between you two? Definitively me. Zero, I don't think, has ever played Pokemon. Hello? Oh, we lost Zero again. Uh-oh. I guess I'll just keep answering questions. Chippy is God, Chippy is gross, right next to each other. I haven't seen most of his videos, so I won't say that. Like, I've only seen maybe one. I will say that it seems like an unfeasible model. Like, if you were actually making content every day, there's no way it's good, in my opinion. So it has to just be like all right at best. But you know, I respect the hustle. And Zero's back.
Hey, back again. I don't know what's going on with my Skype right now.
Sadiq says, so fun fact, I'm 15 and I'm getting married on Valentine's Day with this girl in my class. It's weird. I guess I question the legitimacy of that. Are you actually getting married? In which case, that's messed up. But if it's just a little fun thing, that sounds fun.
He said it's not a real marriage.
Oh, did he? Oh, like not like a not real marriage. Okay, I didn't see that. Follow Chalk says, was Suki from Atla a good character? At face value, she seems bland, so is there more? I actually have a pretty strong opinion on this. I think Atla Season 1 and for parts of Season 2 did a really bad job at handling most female characters. And I think Suki was a prime example of this. I think Episode 4, I really don't like Episode 4, and I think a lot of it is the way Suki was handled. And I might end up talking about this, but I might not because it's really controversial of a subject, I think. But going forward, I really didn't like her until Season 3 and The Boiling Rock, where they did the prison escape, where she became like, for that short time frame, which is basically like the last 5 episodes or whatever, I think she became a really, really good character.
That is true. I really liked her in that final stretch, but I don't know.
Ironically,
she was never too memorable before that.
Ironically, the same thing kind of happens in parts of Locke too. In Legend of Korra, like Zhu Li and Opal, like those characters are kind of bland at first, but then in the last season of Locke, like Zhu Li actually becomes like a really fascinating character, and then Opal, like I love Opal, but like when they're first introduced, they're basically not like bland. So I don't know what these two, like Brian and Mike, I don't know why they have issues with, like they have bad times introducing female characters sometimes, but they usually like correct themselves pretty well by the end. All right, I gotta scroll back up because we're missing a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Gender bending characters fun or annoying? If we're just talking about like fan art, it's whatever. I mean, I don't. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, I don't care about anything that a fan does by themselves.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, I guess, a character being like adapted to a movie and being gender bent or something, I guess it depends on how important the character is.
Does
For some
Korosami?
characters I tend to not care.
Sorry, go ahead. You have any? Is there anything more you want
I
to
was
say on
saying
that?
well, I was saying some characters I tend to not care, but some characters, it just seems like why bother changing? Like if it's a main character, why bother changing their gender? And,
Are we still talking
but if
about
it's not-
fan content? Or are we talking about like something else? Can we? Has there ever been a gender bend of like? I don't know. I guess I don't know what I'm going for here, but I guess my general opinion is just it totally does not affect me in any way whatsoever.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't really affect anything.
Calliope says, "Does Korosami negate all of the Legend of Korra's flaws?" I don't know why it would.
Cause why not?
There are flaws in the Legend of Korra, and I would say Korosami does not negate those flaws. I will say that Korosami. I think there's a lot of debate on Korosami on whether or not, like, why did that even happen? And I will say that for seasons 1 through 3, I pretty much agree that like this is completely unfounded. But season 4, like, if you only took season 4 and then said, do you think these two characters could end up together? I'd be like, yeah, they totally seem like they're into each other. It's just everything before that they like. But I don't even think that everything before that I attribute to Asami being super underdeveloped as a character.
That's also true. I guess they also both had like different love interests before. Like they were kind of doing the whole swapping Mako back and forth thing,
which I hated. I will give. Most Legend of Korra fans will give this one thing up, and that is that the romance in the show was not great.
Yeah.
Sadiq says, "Can we see some ABS?" What is ABS?
I think he means abs. He's just
Can we
capitalizing.
see some abs? No, I weigh way too much. I'm not gonna do that.
My 12 pack. Hold on, let me just go work out for 8 months.
Alright, let me make a chess move here.
I think you skipped a question. Who puts the K in Kato? That's a good one.
You know what? Just as a tangent, I really like that. Not many people. Actually, hold on. Let me think about this. I feel like I've heard the name Kato pronounced in video a couple times, and every single time it's been pronounced Kato, and Zero pronounces it Kato. So I feel like I've won that debate.
Hey, come on, we don't know yet. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. If you do win, I'll let you have that W. But if people start saying Kato,
for some reason, I think on stream you're frozen, but on Skype you're fine. Is that?
It looks fine on my Skype too. I don't know what's going on.
Can you check the stream? Is that? Oh.
Yeah, it's freezing on the stream. Actually, it looks fine now.
Yeah, I don't know what just happened there. Bob says, "You two are beautiful. Don't worry." Thank you, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
So if one of you had to become God, who would? If we had to? There's no other choice. I must do it. I must become God.
Hey, Jordan watched my What is Truth video.
What are your hopes for next season of My Hero Academia? Oh boy, I don't know. Where did this season end off on? Well, it was them beating All Might, right? It was Todoroki and or not Todoroki. Was it Bakugo and Deku versus All Might? Was that the last? Am I completely off base there?
That was definitely one of the last things that happened. It's kind of been a while since the season ended, so I don't really remember what the last episode was.
I don't know. It's hard for me to comment on My Hero Academia. Who is your favorite female AniTuber and why? That's a tough question because there are not many. The only one I know... I... Hold on. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
I'm trying to confirm that certain people are actually female. You know what? I don't know. I don't know if I have an answer here. There are not many female AniTubers I know about. I will say, Lily Pete is not an AniTuber. I think she does My Little Pony, but I really do think that Lily Pete's Korra is Garbage video is the only good Korra is Garbage video, so I will give her credit in that sense.
The only one I'm sub to is the Otaku chick, but all she's done lately is stream, so...
Do I have a good move here at all? See, this is what I'm talking about, the stalling thing. It's like, I have no proactive moves here. I could only just kind of just do a neutral move and hope for the best.
I'll say, in this position, there's definitely not too much to go for White.
When Deku met Shigaraki in the mall, that was last episode of MHA. Okay, yeah. Calliope says, how much do you follow the PCP? I would say, I mean, I watch all of the podcast. I don't watch the Weagawa videos from Best Guy just because they're a little long and they're not like super great or anything. But I follow most of them, but I don't watch 100% of everything. I like those guys a lot. They're moving to, from my understanding, they're moving to Boston, which is very close to where we live. So, you know, hit them up with a collab, maybe.
Yeah, one day. PCP, they're cool guys. Follow. I also listen not to all the podcasts, but to at least most. And
oh, I just fucked up.
I do watch all the Weagawa videos because Best Guy. That's pretty much it. I watch most of Digi's content, and yeah, that's everyone I follow from the PCP.
Hey, we just got another pledge on Patreon. If that's one of you guys, Doji pledged $2. If that's someone in the chat, thank you a ton, Doji.
Yeah. If it's not one of you guys, though, well,
that's an interesting coincidence.
Yeah.
Best
they
Guy.
saw we were streaming. They're like, oh, let me go patron those guys and not watch the stream.
Best Guy is Best Guy, says Sadiq. I would agree that Best Guy Ever is one of the best AniTubers. My only problem is that the Weagawas are not the best. You know, like, the Weagawas are really good, I would say, but, like, the reason why he's one of the best AniTubers is because of the Best Anime Ever videos. And the Weagawas do seem like they're getting a little bit in the way, so because of that, like, that's why I've kind of, like, I don't know, gotten a little upset about the content shift.
What you mean. He's spending all his time on these Weagawas instead of making, like, real, like, the content he used to.
Yeah. And with that, I lose Jess. But on the other hand, for Guy, I would also say that, like, it's been, like, I don't know, 8 months since his last Best Anime Ever, but before that, it was, like, 6-month waits anyways, so it's not a huge deal, and I do enjoy the live streams, So I would say overall it's a net gain, but I do wish, we had more best anime ever videos. Where do you live? What state? We live in Massachusetts. Someone asked what anime are we looking forward for 2008. I would need to check the charts. Hold on. Can you tell what's the the second half of Food Wars is coming out, so I guess that's pretty cool. I like Food Wars a lot. That's the only one.
Anime for 2018.
Yeah, it's the only one I kind of recognize off the top. Did any of you ever have a gay experience? That's an interesting question. No, well, I mean, I've never had outright gay experiences, but I will say that in high school, there was a short rumor spread about me and Zero that someone claimed to have saw us making out in the hallway, which is not true.
I mean, we looked everywhere, so I don't know how they saw it. I mean,
yeah.
That wasn't true.
No one saw us. It's completely fabricated that someone saw us do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Who usually wins if you do frequently play? We don't frequently play. I don't play chess very often. In fact, I would say I pretty much never play chess. I do play a lot of. If you could see right here on my bookmarks, I have Monopoly. I've pretty much played Monopoly. I've maybe played 40 games of Monopoly in the past 3 days.
Nice. Love Monopoly.
Yeah, it's a fun game. I'd play it right now, but we couldn't find a site that let us play versus each other. I can only play versus the computer. So.
Yeah, where's the fun in that?
When I was 11, I thought I was gay. It was weird. Man, it's all good. Amba Black Up says, what do you guys do when you find yourselves with writer's block or in a slump? How do you overcome it? I don't want to say writer's block is straight up made up. Like, look at that, rhymes. I don't want to say that it's like actually just false, but I will say that anytime I've had writer's block, it wasn't so much that I couldn't think of something to write with. I was more just afraid of the idea that I wouldn't write that I would write something bad, and usually you just get over that by writing. So it sounds weird that the only way to beat writer's block is to write, but I guess that's the only way I've historically overcome it.
That makes sense, I think. I don't know. I guess with writer's block, what I tend to do is just sort of stare at my computer screen, literally just staring at the words that I'm writing until more appear. So, I would suggest trying that if you ever are struggling to write.
I mean, worst case scenario, just move on. I mean, not like from the project, but just like, if I can't think about what to write, then I just do something else, and you'll find inspiration in other things. So like I'll put on a movie or something, or go out to eat or whatever, and you will find yourself thinking about it more than you'd think, more than you'd imagine. I have an entire room with pictures all over with your faces. That's bullshit. No, you do not.
Yeah, that's definitely just not true.
We haven't shown our faces enough for that to be true.
No, it's just the one. He's taken one picture of the entire room.
Yeah. Someone said subs versus dubs. Subs. Just because a lot of English voice actors are not that great, which is sad because I watched a lot of Critical Role, which are like a bunch of video game and anime voice actors, and I like them all a lot. And I think some of them are very talented, but I also think some of the dubs are pretty shit. Which I think, to be fair, I don't think dubs are an accurate representation of like your actual acting ability. It can be, but a lot of times you have to distort what you're saying because you're matching yourself. It's not like they're animating to you; you're voicing to the animation. So you can't just do whatever inflection you want. You have to match the inflection of the already existing movements. So it is not entirely fair to blame the voice actors, in my opinion, but the fact of the matter is it comes out poor, and a lot of times, and because of that, I don't like watching it.
I actually, I like English dubs when they're good, but the problem is they're just never good. So
Well, you know what the problem
I
with
end up watching all the Japanese subs or English subs generally.
it is. I don't like watching anime with Zero that much because he has a tendency to just be on his phone, and he'll still retain information, but like he'll just basically, I don't know, it's really frustrating to watch.
That's true. I kind of just
Hold on.
expect you to ignore it.
Folatrock said making out in the hallway was something referenced in the movie Missing, right? That is the first time someone has referenced that video ever.
Fella, you better not have seen that movie.
that video
That's
is
gonna have to get rid of you.
that video is taken down, by the way. But yes, it was referenced in the movie. Are we missing? I feel like I missed a bunch of questions. Oh, Doji, this is the patron. He says, "Do you guys follow the One Piece manga?" We have been asked this a lot tonight, and the answer is unfortunately no.
Yeah, that's because everyone who watches anime watches One Piece except us. So.
Well, it's a popular show, and it's one of the few popular shows that is good. You know, like or not popular shows that is good, but like popular shonen shows that is actually good.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, like there's a lot of like Naruto isn't terrible, and you know My Hero Academia is good, but like One Piece is like considered really good. You know, by like even the most, you know, even the critics, you know, like the YouTube critics love One Piece.
It's true. I don't. It just sort of surprises me, really. I mean.
Yeah, all credit to the show. I mean, I wish I watched it growing up, but
yeah, I'm sad that I missed out on all the fun
Yeah.
One Piece stuff. But
oh, Folatrox retracted his message. What did it say?
I didn't see it either.
Folatrox, what's going on here? Did you ban him? Is that what happened?
No, I didn't. I swear.
Anbu Black Ops says, "What anime would you say has had the most influence on you and how?" I mean Naruto, right? I mean, it kind of
Maybe
just.
definitely for me.
The only reason I even watch anime is probably because of Naruto. I can't imagine something being more impactful. Maybe Death Note, because Death Note was like, oh, this is what anime could be type of situations. So, possibly.
That's true. Death Note sort of kept me optimistic about anime.
Code Geass and Death Note dubs are actually good. I haven't seen the Code Geass one, but I would say the Death Note dub is pretty good. Yeah.
I do usually watch Code Geass dubbed because I do think the English dub is pretty good. Our boy Johnny Bosch does a great Lelouch.
Is it weird if I take off my pants right now? No. I mean, I'm not wearing pants. Anyone see Madoka Box? I don't know what that is. I will look it up. There's a Japanese shonen manga written by Nisio Eisen. A good old Nisio story, huh? What is it? The plot follows Madoka Kurokami, a charismatic and attractive first-year Hakoniwa Academy student who is elected student council president with 98% of the vote. She institutes a suggestion box, and with the help of her childhood friend Zenkichi Hitoyoshi, addresses these requests in her unconventional manner. Over the course of the story, she distributes the student council leadership positions to other students. What's the catch here? This is a Nisio Eisen story. There's gotta be something here, huh? This isn't just a normal show. Or normal manga. Oh, it has superpowers?
Has superpowers,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't usually read manga, but I would be interested in Zero reading it. What?
Thanks. But Calliope said that they know Hunter x Hunter Dick Writing Association. our good friend.
Love that boy.
Yeah.
He would highly recommend Matic Box if he were here. I mean, I value his opinion, so I will say that. Oh, it was adapted into an anime. Maybe I'll watch it then.
Maybe.
Have either of you gone through a ninja phase where you run with your arms behind you while wearing a headband? I definitely went through a ninja phase, I guess, but definitely not that bad.
I wore the headband. That's how bad I got.
I wanted the headband, but I never got it. Thank God. Is that a beard I spot on my boy Zero? I don't think so. Is it? You got a
that would be a
mustache.
generous thing to call it, but there's hair there.
I see you got the mustache. Can you take the hood off? I know you have dreads going on.
Are you sure you want me to do this?
It's up to you. I mean, if you want to embarrass yourself.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh boy. Wow, that is bad.
Right.
Do you go to school like that?
I just wear my hood.
Wow, that's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
Whoops. What are some of your?
Better.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's better when when I just come out of the shower, but I've been wearing my hood all day, so.
What the?
It's kind of.
Calliope says, "Why is Hoodie not wearing a hoodie? Oh, why is Hoodie the one usually not wearing a hoodie? I am wearing a hoodie right now, for your information. But the name, so Hoodie has an interesting origin. It was, so when I was a freshman in high school, me and these two other guys were starting a YouTube channel, and they wanted the gimmick to be that we would all wear suits and ties, and I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to wear a tie all the time. So I said I'll just wear a hoodie, and the idea was that they wanted to call it two ties and one hoodie. And I just kind of I started doing more stuff online, so I started taking the name Hoodie, and I will admit that I do not wear hoodies all that often, but I wear it enough. I mean, stop persecuting me here.
Yeah, leave him alone. We did questions to answer that one.
Yeah, I skipped a lot. What are some of your favorite shoujo josei anime manga? What does josei mean? I know what shoujo is. Is it the same thing? Yeah, aimed at women. Okay. I don't know if I have much shoujo. What are the big ones? Maybe I've seen a couple. Does K-On! Count?
Is what?
Does K-On! Count as a shoujo?
I think that's.
I mean, it's moe, but does moe count? I don't know. I think my answer is just I don't have one.
My answer is Fruits Basket is my favorite shoujo manga. I've seen a couple shoujo shows, but I haven't really read any shoujo manga except Shugo Chara, which was okay.
Oh, sorry. Keep going.
No, I'm good.
Follow Chalk says, thoughts on Christopher Nolan films. I enjoy Christopher Nolan a lot. I've seen most of his work. My favorite films would probably be The Prestige, or my favorite film would probably be The Prestige, or perhaps Inception. One of those two.
The only non-Batman Christopher Nolan film I've seen was Memento, and I thought that was really good.
Follow Truck says, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a CG live action film before or after R3. Have you guys seen the Haikyuu stage play? It's actually not bad. I'm going to show a little bit right now.
For some reason, live action stage plays seem to be more well received than live action movies for anime. I don't know what's up with that.
Stop.
I'm not playing it. Let's get to a game. Come on.
あれは拒絶目つぶってやぞ影山がボールを全く見ていない日向の手のひらピンポイントにトスを上げたんだスイングの瞬間に合わせて寸分の狂いもなくなあ
Do you guys want subtitles?
目つぶっとってなんだお前がボール見るなって言ったんだ俺は俺
I mean, if you're not a musical guy, if you're not a theater guy, you're not gonna like it, obviously, but I would say the production quality, considering how difficult of a concept this would probably be to tackle, is actually impressive.
Oh. Well, I do like The Dark Knight more than Memento, I'd say. But you didn't ask what my favorite Christopher Nolan film was.
Yeah. He just said thoughts, and I think he just didn't want to be stereotypical. Hey Zero, why is Batman God and can never be beaten as the best superhero ever? See, the funny thing about that statement is that is both someone that could be taken as someone saying that that's why Batman is their favorite character, but that same statement could be said as this is why Batman is terrible.
That's true. Well, to answer your question, Sadiq, it's because he's Batman.
I don't know if my dad's here, but he did say he was going to stop by, and it is his birthday. So, if you're here, happy birthday. Light Yagami, love him, hate him, or love to hate him. Well, when I was 12, I loved him a lot. And I feel like maybe my opinion would change, but that was the last time I saw Death Note. So I say I love him.
When I was 12, I hated him a lot. But over, I guess, the years, I've sort of grown to love to hate him. Because I still think he's a bad guy, but I like him. He's a great character.
I only left for a minute, and then suddenly K-pop. That wasn't K-pop, alright? That was Haikyuu. Yeah.
I understand the misconception.
Musicals are like, there is an inherent level of like, you need to be okay with this to even understand why anyone would like it. You know, there's an entry bar, and if you can't meet that, then it all looks probably terrible to you. But I think if you're the type of guy who likes musicals and theater, then I think the Haikyuu stage play is actually pretty good. Oh man, how did I not know he's Batman? Happy birthday, Hoodie Senior. He actually does have the same name as me, so he would be Senior. I guess I could check this chat. I checked the viewer list. Hello, Father. Hello, are you here?
Dad?
It doesn't seem like he's here. Oh well, whatever. Left me again. That's a joke.
Nice.
I mean, I'm into it, but it's tone change from chess. Should we play another chess game? How do you guys feel about League of Legends? I think it's a little too late for us to... I don't know how much longer we'll be streaming, so it's a little too late for us to start playing that, but... Just in the future, do you guys hate League of Legends, love it? Would you guys be willing to watch us stream it?
Last time I looked at how many viewers we had in chat, it was 15, and after you said that, it's 12. I hope you're happy.
Holy whoopsies. Listen, I didn't say we were gonna play it, I just said maybe.
Yeah, just mentioning it.
Yeah, Best Guy is gonna be live soon. That is a major reason why we'll probably stop streaming. There's no reason to compete with him.
That's true.
Kato
I have no
says-
problem with you playing Dota, but
Yeah, I mean, Dota seems cool. The only reason I'm hesitant about playing League on stream is just because it seems like if you don't play League, you probably hate it. So like, we'll probably alienate a lot of our audience if we play it. I'd watch it. I'd watch that, but I wouldn't be very interested in gameplay. Yeah, maybe it's not great then, because it's like a very involved game, so we couldn't reach out all that much.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it is more involved.
Maybe in the future, because right now our chat's like small enough that we could, pay attention to most, if not all, of the comments. But if it's at a point where like the comments are going by fast enough, anyways, then maybe we could play League and it wouldn't be a big deal. We'll hold off. I really wish we could play. What? As long as y'all are talking. Hey man, appreciate the support. I really wish we could have played Monopoly today.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Alright, let's start up another game of chess. Is there a rematch button?
There was. I think it's gone.
Oh. Alright. I'll start up a different one.
Send me the link.
Oh, shoot. I entered a game with someone else. No, get me out.
How'd that happen?
I don't know, I'm an idiot. Alright, I'm sending it to you on Facebook. Sneak, you really trying to get some information out of us? Says, real question, are you virgins? You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, Zero. But my answer is no.
My answer is also no.
Did you get the link for the chess game?
Huh? Yeah, I hit the link. My computer's just being slow.
Oh. Next stream, you should play Monopoly. We would play Monopoly. We might. The only problem is that the link I use to play only plays versus computers. And the only one that I could find online that let you play versus other people was kind of shitty looking. And I don't want to like... I want it to look presentable for the stream, you know?
Yeah.
What are your opinions, Mr. Dr. Sir says, what are your opinions on fan service and cutesy anime? And what's your review of the first episode of Angel Beats and you seemed against it? I also have a video called Let's Talk About Harem or Let's Talk About Fan Service or something like that, where I talk about like high school DxD and stuff like that. My general opinion is that I don't like it, but I don't... So my general opinion on fan service is that if it's in a small dose, I don't mind it. If it's used well, like in Food Wars, then I like it. But in general, I'd say I'm against it. As for cutesy stuff, I would say I'm really not into that like little girl, like watching little girls be cute anime. But I will say the one exception to that I found is K-On! I enjoy K-On! A lot.
I just wanted to thank our boy Math Liz, who just showed up in the chat, by the way. Said, "Vegan the stash Zero."
All right, hold on.
Nice.
I'll hook you guys up. Give me a second. There you go. Wait, Zero, you can't move because I think it will mess it up.
What are you doing? Come on. I don't like this. I do not like this at all.
I dropped Angel Beats because of the tone shifts. Can't stand it, especially when the tone shift goes from serious to whimsical or vice versa. We only watched the first 2 episodes, so it's hard for me to comment on that, but I will say I also did not like it all that much. Yeah, I don't mind the question, Sadiq. I mean, if I really didn't want to answer it, I just wouldn't answer it, so it's all good. Peace out, fella. Good to have you around.
Oh, bye, fella.
Alexander only stopped by for a second. I guess he never said bye, so for all I know, he's still here, but...
Yeah. This seems unlikely, but it's possible.
How's it going, Mathwiz? Take your turn. Come on, Zero.
Sorry.
Is your Skype frozen on stream? I think it might be. Whatever. I guess I'll just have that close up of your mustache.
Anyone new in the stream's gonna be a little confused, but whatever.
Oh, I think your Skype freezes anytime I. Huh. That's interesting.
Anytime what?
Anytime I like close the tab.
Oh.
That's
Like
weird.
minimize it?
Yeah. Alright, hold on. Let me fix your. Let me redo that for you. Let me get you going back up here like normal. Skype.
One says the third YouTuber to show up is gonna be best guy ever.
That'd be cool, but we don't really know. I mean, we're not like super intimate with like Alexander and Mathos or anything, but you know, we're familiar with them. But I don't think I've ever spoken to best guy ever. Well, he did retweet our Mia Mafova announcement, so there's that.
Yeah, he is at least aware of our channel in some way.
Yeah. Y'all know any good comedy anime? The only one I know is Nichijou, and I love it. I mean, surely I do, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. Oh, One Punch Man.
It's a good one.
If you haven't seen One Punch Man, I would say that one, but I assume you have. Konosuba is also a really good one.
I saw Mr. Dr. Sir's message.
What did it say? Oh, I guess if he wants it retracted, don't say it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna retract, or I'm not gonna say it, but this is the first time I actually caught one before they deleted it, so I'm happy.
Zero's in college, so he has a roommate. I assume the laugh was his roommate.
That's a good guess.
How long did it take to write the Avatar script? That's a good question. It took me about 2.5 weeks to watch the show over again, and then it took me about a week and a half, maybe a little less, to write it. So all in all, maybe three weeks to a month.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I fucked up. What?
Okay. So, I guess he deleted his message because it was a typo. He said, I started watching Code Geass because of you, and I'm on episode 36, but in the first message he said, I started watching Code Geass because of you, and I am 36. I was like, hey.
Okay, yeah, I can confirm that the reason your thing is messing up is because I closed out the tab, which is really annoying, but whatever.
Please don't do that.
Glad to see that Zero is taking matters into his own hands and creating his own chess anime live on stream. It's a rough process, but, you know, we're refining it. Alright.
What else do you think should be the protagonist?
Well, I have to be the protagonist. Well, there's two ways to go, because you're like the up-and-coming guy, and I'm the guy who just like stumbled into this and is just starting out. So I guess it's, what route do you want to take for this?
That's true. Either one of us, I guess, could be the protagonist.
Mob Psycho is better than One Punch Man. I've never seen it. Well, no, I saw the first episode. It seemed pretty good. This stream is the best anime. I would agree. If you woke up one day and you were a girl, what would be the first thing you'd do? Come on, man. We all know the answer. You can have 2 protagonists. Yeah, we could be a team.
That's true. That'd be dope, you know, just like real life.
Are there duo chess games? Is that a possible? Like, is there some way to play that?
Not really. At least I'm not aware of any like 2-person chess formats out there, but pretty sure it's a one-on-one sport.
Well, I'm thinking like maybe like tapping in and out. Like you make a move, then you tap out, and I make the next move. It's kind of like how Yugi and Yami Yugi played out in the Duelist Kingdom final match. There is a 2v2 chess mode. Thank you, Calliope. I knew it. All right, let's let that. Well,
I've seen like 4-person chess, but I haven't seen.
so but it's not like teams. It's like 1v1v1 blah 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 blah.
I actually don't know what Calliope's referring to.
Do you think an argument can be made that Naruto was never really an underdog? Could an argument be made? Yeah, sure. I mean, I will say that. Yes, I would say an argument could be made. Oh shoot, I completely missed. I thought that was gonna take out my bishop, and I had a bad eye on that, I suppose.
We could run that back if you want.
No, it's fine. No way winning chess against Zero. He did name himself after Lelouch for a reason, so.
That's true. Well, not for that reason, but
there was a reason. Naruto was an underdog. He had the best genes and used 3 techniques to get where he was. Yeah, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. You know, if you're purely looking at it from an action, you know, battle anime perspective, which Naruto is, then yeah, he isn't an underdog. But if you're looking at it as this sort of like introspective piece on like I don't know, Naruto as a character, not so much Naruto as a power, like a power, then I would say that he, you know, society wise, he was an underdog. But the fact of the matter is that this was a battle manga or a battle anime, so that doesn't entirely hold up.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Which is similar to my opinion on Korra. A lot of people, and I don't want to talk about this too much because it's going to be part of my next Korra video, but a lot of people say that Korra is a Mary Sue, which is true if you view this in the sense that like the show is about the fights. I personally do not view the show in that manner, so it doesn't really matter to me. Dude, am I just getting styled on here?
I wasn't gonna bring attention to it.
I like half paying attention. Damn it. Fuck it, dude, whatever. Sasuke is one of the worst happens rivals I've seen. I have a soft spot in my heart for Sasuke, but I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on what you really dislike about him.
I mean, I used to hate Sasuke. I guess now I can kind of appreciate what they're going for, but I still have my gripes.
People only really hated Naruto in the flashbacks in the first chapter. Um.
I guess
Hmm.
that's kind of true.
Yeah, my natural instinct my natural instinct is to say that's not true, but I can't necessarily think of one. Like, I mean, people didn't like him, but no one's obligated to like you. There was no
Yeah.
there was no hatred. Well, I would need to verify, but I could see what you're saying.
I can't really think of someone being mean to Naruto for any reason other than Naruto did something dumb. I may be forgetting something though.
I just want everyone to know that if this was Monopoly, I'd be stomping him.
When we do the league streams, don't worry, everyone's gonna see.
Soul Society, Rescue, Rukia arc, top 5 shonen arcs. That sounds like One Piece, is it? Or is that Hunter x Hunter?
No, that's
Bleach. I have no idea. I've never seen Bleach.
Bleach is okay. I liked it, kinda.
Oh, any of you have siblings? I know Zero has one at least. I have a sister and 2 stepbrothers. And then Zero has two brothers.
Yeah.
Is this just me moving back and forth?
I hope not.
How did Sasuke unlock his Sharingan? Good question.
Just like that.
Did he unlock it when Itachi did that? The massacre?
Yeah, that was the first time he used it.
Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Mathwiz. Good to see you. Peace out.
Peace, Math.
I enjoyed Sai a lot.
Sai was pretty. I mean, when he first showed up, he was like talking some reckless shit to Naruto, so I had a grudge against him for a little bit. But
Yeah.
he was cool.
I think a general rule of, not a rule, but like a general piece of advice I'd give to, aspiring writers is don't. It is very hard to introduce characters that make fools of your main character without inherently making your audience dislike that character. So I point at, the reason I'm bringing this up is because this is what happens in The Legend of Korra, where they introduce Kai in season 3, and Kai is immediately just lying to everyone. He's like, he's charming Jinora, but like he's like a scoundrel, and he's like kind of treating Mako and Bolin like idiots, and I like these characters, and he's making fools of them. So I'm like, fuck you, Kai, and like that is, and I would say it certainly works sometimes. Like for example, if it works for certain villains, we like Light, and then they introduce L as direct opposition, makes him look like a fool. But I would say, in general, this does usually not work very well.
Yeah. Usually, if you're like having someone insult the main character, people are gonna get mad. I mean, in my case, it was because I was like 10 or however the heck old I was when Sai first got introduced. But
have you guys watched Magic Kaito 14112? Magic. I haven't.
Oh wait, is that the fuck? Did you just reference fucking Case Closed? Does anyone remember Case Closed, Detective Conan?
It's still going. Remember.
That's true. It is still going.
Are you talking to me?
No, the person who asked that question.
What is Magic Kaito?
Yeah, Magic Kaito 1412 is it's at least. Oh, it's a series. It's a series about a spin-off. Okay, it's a spin-off series about a character from the detective comic or case closed manga, whatever. I forget whether the manga was called Case Closed or Detective Comics, because one of them was one and one was the other.
All right, Zero, I'm gonna ask you to finish me off quickly because we should probably wrap up soon since Best Guy Ever's coming on.
Oh, yeah.
Basing most of my thoughts on Naruto on the Nen show because I don't feel like reading or watching Naruto again. Good point. Yeah, I probably wouldn't rewatch Naruto unless I had a really good reason to.
I'm definitely not gonna rewatch it. Like, not the whole show. There'll probably be a point where I rewatch, like, certain arcs just to, like, try to get a good grasp on what happens.
Yeah. Ever see Assassination Classroom? Says Mark Nutt. We watched the first episode together. It's pretty decent. It didn't. I know a lot of people really like the show, so I'll probably get around to it eventually, like to rewatch it. But after watching the first 2 episodes, I think we watched together, I just thought it was like pretty interesting, but nothing like super amazing.
I felt the same way. It wasn't. I mean, I liked it. I'd say probably a lot, but it wasn't an amazing show.
Yeah, just going off of what I've seen, I don't necessarily know why everyone loves it so much, but they do, so I'm willing to give it another shot. Sadiq says, I won't watch Best Guy Ever, can you please stay? Or, sorry, can you stay? I don't know why I put a please in there. Unfortunately, well, hypothetically could, but also Zero desperately needs to get work done, so, because the next video is his and he's still writing it. So.
Fuck you, man.
Is that game?
Yeah.
All right. Last questions, everybody. If you guys have any more questions, we'll answer them before we head off. We'll give another 5 minutes or so. Watched all of Case Closed. Really like some of it. How long is Case Closed? Because it's still going. Is this the longest show? Really? It's been going for 22 years. It's not the longest?
It's probably getting... Actually, it might be the longest.
Oh, wait, you know, I know... No, there's a kids show that's the longest, I believe.
It's definitely in the running.
Yeah.
Probably top 5.
Case Closed is ongoing, isn't it? People love it because the main character is by Shonen, and the secondary main character is rough. Mainstream script writing. Could we?
Well, yeah, Case Closed is still ongoing, but I'm guessing they probably just did this spin-off manga to reinvigorate the series, because it said it was from 2010 to 2012 on Google. That was when the manga series was coming out.
Let's see. Maybe on-stream script writing. Possibly. Not today, but maybe in the future at some point. Favorite arcs in any anime? Good question.
Favorite arcs, like, ever?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big question.
Yes, it is. Sasuke retrieval arc holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that one. I mean, everyone got hyped over that.
Yeah.
Everyone got hyped watching that shit as a kid.
I don't know. I mean, what other great arcs? I will say I really enjoy the. I don't know. The last tournament of season 2 of Haikyuu, I liked a lot. I guess is the only tournament, so of season 2.
Actually, well, obviously the Chimera Ant arc is on a lot of people's lists.
Saze-san, yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's the one I was thinking of. That's the longest one. It's the kids show. 2,500 plus episodes.
Nice.
Any One Piece arc? Alright. One Piece is now the Hunter x Hunter of this channel, where people are just gonna constantly ask us to watch it.
Yeah, I guess it's like it's the worst part is it's a mutual gap. Like at least if one of us hasn't seen something, then the other person can make a video about it to make the people happy. But neither of us has seen One Piece, so they're just gonna keep asking us about it forever.
Hold on, Jordan says Hunter x Hunter is over. That's not true, is it? Isn't the Hunter x Hunter manga still going?
He means like symbolically over, I think. Which I don't necessarily agree with either.
Oh, from a story perspective. All right.
I think there's more opportunity for stuff to do with the universe. I don't think it has to be over yet. But I see what you're saying. He found his dad. Show's over, folks.
Okay, guys. I think we're going to end it here. So, on that note, everyone please go to our Patreon, patreon.com/KatoYT, KATOYT. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to Calliope and Doji, who... I'm sorry, what were we saying?
I said be sure to pledge if you want our chess anime to come out.
Yeah, if we reach $10,000 a month on Patreon, we will consider the possibility of producing some sort of thing. All right. Yeah. Bye everyone. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys sometime soon.
Peace.